Attack on Titan is a very popular manga that has many shocking developments and a lot of foreshadowing, which is why it's gained so much popularity. However, the story is filled with settings that are so difficult to understand that it's hard for people to comprehend by just reading it once. The Attack Titan and the Coordinate are just a couple things in the story people have a hard time understanding. So, in this video, we've compiled a list ranking the elements of the story of Attack on Titan that people find the most difficult to understand. Please be aware, this video contains spoilers up to the final chapter of the manga. Number 9. The Royal Bloodline. The royal family in Attack on Titan is the Fritz family, later known as the Rice family, which was an important part of the story because it had a lot to do with how Titans were born. The founding Titan, the origin of all Titans, began with Ymir Fritz, and after Ymir's death, her corpse was fed to her children, Maria, Rose, and Sina, who inherited her power. The descendants of these children are the Eldians, who can all become Titans. Many readers may wonder if this means that all Eldians are of royal blood. If Ymir is the ancestor of all Eldians, wouldn't that mean that not only Zeke and Historia, but also Eren and most of the other characters in the story would be of royal blood? But Eren had to go through Zeke when he used the Founding Titan's powers. So, it's obvious that he wasn't part of the royal bloodline. Isayama-sensei hasn't gone into detail yet about what distinguishes the blood of a royal family member from that of a normal Eldian. One of the most popular theories is that the royal bloodline was born when the second King Fritz had children with Maria, Rose, or Sina. So, similar to real life, they kept the number of royal family members low compared to the number of total Eldians by doing things like marrying their half-siblings or cousins. The other two that didn't marry the second King Fritz had children with the normal people of Eldia. This would explain why all the descendants of the Eldians are subjects of Ymir. This part of the story has yet to be properly explained, even now, so I can understand why many readers had doubts about it. Number 8. The Vow Renouncing War. The Vow Renouncing War was a contract that the 145th King Fritz made with the Founding Titan's power. This made it so that when a member of the royal family inherited the Founding Titan, he or she would also inherit the ideals of the 145th Karl Fritz, essentially becoming possessed by him. Because of this, royal family members who inherited the Founding Titan from generation to generation were unable to use the Founding Titan's ability to control the people of Ymir as they wished. The important thing here is what kind of ideals did the 145th Karl Fritz have? He was a pacifist who didn't like fighting. The Founding Titan Ymir once divided her soul into 9 parts after her death, creating 9 intelligent titans, right? Using the power of these titans, Eldia overran other countries and became the ruler of a great nation. Karl Fritz inherited the Founding Titan, which triggered the Great Titan War. However, Karl Fritz abandoned the war because he didn't want to fight anymore and fled to Paradis Island with some of his followers, where he would build 3 high walls. He felt guilty for all the people he and his people had killed, and made the Vow Renouncing War, forcing his ideals on the inheritors of the Founding Titan, and telling people outside the island that if they interfered with him in the future, tens of millions of Titans lurking within the walls would level everything on Earth. But as long as the Vow Renouncing War existed, no one from the royal family could activate the abilities of the Founding Titan, even if they inherited them. And since the Founding Titan didn't do anything unless you were a member of the royal family, he thought that he had sealed away the powers of the Founding Titan forever. In chapter 120, the Vow Renouncing War was easily neutralized by Zeke. Unlike the kings of the past, Zeke reached the Coordinate without inheriting the Founding Titan, and inside the Coordinate, there's essentially no such thing as time. So he managed to undo the Vow Renouncing War and the untold number of years he had spent alone with the Founder. As the story becomes more complicated with the history of the Titans, many readers wondered what the Vow Renouncing War was all about and why Zeke was able to overcome it. Number 7. The ability of the Attack Titan. The power of the Attack Titan was passed down from Eren Kruger to Grisha Yeager, and then from Grisha to the main character Eren. The abilities of the Attack Titan were only revealed at the end of the story, when the story's taking place inside of Grisha's memories. Its ability is to see into the memories of its future inheritors. Those who have inherited the Attack Titan from generation to generation can share their memories through their path, allowing them to see not only the memories of their past inheritors, like every intelligent Titan can, but also the memories of their future inheritors as well. Eren's awakening as the Attack Titan came when he touched Historia at the award ceremony after recapturing Wall Maria. At that time, through Grisha's memories, he saw his own memories of the future. That was when Eren saw himself choose a future in which Mikasa and Armin would turn into his enemies. Eren had not only the Attack Titan, but also the Founding Titan, and later even the Warhammer Titan, which complicated the Titan's abilities and left many readers wondering what part of his abilities were from the Attack Titan and which were from the other Titans. Number 6. The abilities of the Founding Titan. The Founding Titan is the most powerful of all the 9 Titans. The Founding Titan was born when Ymir came into contact with a centipede-like organism, which transformed her into a Titan and gave her her abilities. The Founding Titan's power allows it to do as it pleases with all subjects of Ymir. For example, it can see all of their memories, falsify all of their memories, change the structures of their bodies, transform them into Titans, and even control them. It's a terrifying ability that's truly the most powerful of all others. The Founding Titan is inherited by royal family members from generation to generation, and even if a non-royal family member inherits it, they can't use its abilities. However, when a member of the royal family inherits the Founding Titan, they're possessed by the ideals of the 145th Karl Fritz, the Vow Renouncing War, and because of this, even royal family members are unable to use its power. But later on, the Founding Titan was stolen from Frida Rice by Grisha and passed down to Eren, someone who is not a member of the royal family. Normally, the Founding Titan's ability would be useless in this situation, but it can be activated by having contact with a Titan from the royal family. It was able to temporarily control the Titans when Eren came into contact with Dinah's Titan. Because the Founding Titan's abilities involve some difficult keywords like the Vow Renouncing War and the Coordinate, many readers seem to have become confused about them. In the last chapter, it's revealed that the Founding Titan can manipulate Titans even in the past, and Eren somehow turns into a bird. Number 5. Mikasa's Headaches. The heroine of the story, Mikasa Ackerman, suffered from mysterious headaches in several scenes. From the beginning, many readers have suspected that there might be some deeper meaning to this headache, and this headache was one of the details that strengthened the loop theory that was often discussed at the time. The first one was in the first volume, after Eren's mother, Carla, was eaten by Titans, and Eren and Mikasa were running away with Hannes. In all 34 volumes, there are 9 headache scenes in the story. There were many readers who didn't understand the meaning of these headaches until the very end. Perhaps because of this, extra scenes to the story that weren't in the first issue of the magazine that published the final chapter were added into volume 34, where the answer to the headaches is finally given directly. Mikasa sees the spirit of Ymir after defeating Eren, and it is now confirmed that Ymir was the cause of Mikasa's headaches. The founder Ymir compared Mikasa's obsession with Eren and her illogical level of devotion to him to the love she had for King Fritz, even though she was his slave. I don't know if what Eren said was true, that Mikasa's blood as an Ackerman is what made her so loyal to Eren, But her thinking that that was true created a similar situation between Mikasa and the founder Ymir. This is why Ymir looked into Mikasa's head and observed her. And when Mikasa made the choice to kill Eren even though she still loved him, the founder Ymir was freed from her own curse. Number 4. Reiner's technique. Reiner Braun, definitely Isayama sensei's favorite character, was a sad man that the author just would not let die no matter how miserable his situation was. Among all the scenes where Reiner was just unable to die, the most confusing was definitely in Volume 19, Chapter 78. During the operation to retake Wall Maria, Reiner is driven to the brink of death when he's hit by lightning spears, a brand new weapon, in a battle between him and the scouts along with the Titan form of Eren. Reiner's head was blown off by lightning spears, but when Bertolt finds Reiner, he was still breathing, and Bertolt said he had succeeded in transferring his consciousness from his brain down to his entire body's neural network. He had lost the whole top of his head. His brain was gone, but Bertolt said he could use the Titan's brain instead through the neural network, and he wouldn't even lose memories if he managed to do it this way, even though it was a last resort. There were many readers who couldn't understand how this worked at all, and since this was the only time this power was mentioned, a lot of people said it was too much of a mystery. Also, people pointed out that it was called a last resort, but Reiner survived without any after effects or side effects, and nothing really changed after he did that. Looking back, I think this is definitely the most obvious instance of plot armor in the entire story. Number 3. The Paths. In Attack on Titan, the Paths is not any kind of road you can just walk on. The subjects of Ymir are all connected to one, and it seems that the blood and bones that form Titans are sent through these paths. Not only that, but sometimes even a person's memory can be sent down the path. And the reason Eren sometimes remembered Grisha's memories is because he inherited Grisha's Titan, so their paths were connected. They all lead to the coordinate, the intersection of all paths. It's very difficult to understand, but since it transcends space, it's difficult to describe in words, and this seems to be the reason why many readers are bothered by it. Number 2. The coordinate. As with the paths, there were many readers who were stumped by the coordinate. As I mentioned earlier in the explanation of paths, all subjects of Ymir are connected to a path, and the intersection of all these paths is the coordinate. The coordinate also refers to the power of the founding Titan, the power that allows them to control all subjects of Ymir. The first time the coordinate is mentioned in the story is in the conversation between Reiner and Bertolt in Volume 47 of Volume 12. This is where we learn that Reiner's group's goal was to find the coordinate. When Hannes was eaten by the Smiling Titan trying to protect Eren and Mikasa, an enraged Eren punches the Titan with his bare hands. At that moment, all the Titans around him attacked the Smiling Titan. This was the scene where the power of the Founding Titan temporarily activated and took control of all the other Titans by making contact with Dinah, a descendant of the royal family. At that point, neither the Founding Titan nor the power of the coordinate had been explained in detail. So, the storyline progressed without giving us much explanation for what had just happened. But the paths and coordinate were so conceptual that it's hard to understand even if they're explained. Number 1. The Glowing Centipede. In Attack on Titan, the Glowing Centipede is deeply related to the origin of the Titans. It makes its first appearance in the final part of the story, in Volume 30, Chapter 122. Eren's head was blown off when Gabby shot him with the anti-Titan rifle, and a glowing, centipede-like life form connected Eren's body back to his head. Also, when the story of how the founder Ymir became a Titan was being shown, an organism that appeared at the root end of the tree where Ymir had fell was this same glowing centipede that was connected to Eren. The glowing centipede connected to the founder Ymir, And that was how Titans were born. However, it wasn't just the power of the glowing centipede that transformed everyone into Titans. According to the story of the birth of the founding Titan told by Zeke in chapter 137, Ymir's strong desire to escape her suffering resulted in the creation of her gigantic body. Still, the question remains, what was the identity of the glowing centipede after all? It's thought to be based on the ancient creature Hallucigania, which appears in chapter 137 as a representative of life. The story ends with the mystery of this life form remaining unexplained because no details of what it really was or where it really came from are shown in the story. Since the story is all about Titans, many readers were still curious about the true identity behind the source of the Titans. These were just some of the elements of Attack on Titan that were difficult to understand for some readers. Even if you don't fully understand the story, what makes this such a wonderful work of art is that you can still enjoy it, even without all the difficult stuff. Please feel free to comment on any other points of the story that confused you at first, and try to explain them for us so we can all understand better. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you again in the next video.